Hello dear students. In this video, we're going to learn about characteristics and classification of living organisms. Let's start. What are living things? A living thing refers to any organism or life form that has or exhibits the qualities of life or being alive. Living things include many types of organisms, from plants, animals, fungi, and algae that are easily recognized in nature to a variety of tiny creatures known as protozoa, bacteria, and archaea that cannot be seen under the microscope, alone are visible. Living things are found in all types of habitats on Earth, on land, in lakes, rivers, and oceans. Characteristics of living things. To be categorized as a living thing, an organism possesses these below-mentioned characteristics or processes necessary for life. Organization. All things are made of chemicals, but in living things the chemicals are packaged into highly organized structures. The basic structure of life is the cell. Cells themselves contain small organelles that carry out specific functions. A cell may exist on its own or in association with other cells to form tissues and organs. Because of their highly organized structure, living things are organisms. Reproduction. Reproduction is the ability to produce other individuals of the same species. It may be sexual or asexual. Reproduction involves the replication of DNA. This chemical contains genetic information which determines the characteristics of an organism, including how it will grow and develop. The continued existence of life depends on reproduction, and this is perhaps the most characteristic feature of living things. Reproduction allows both continuity and change. Over countless generations, this has allowed species to become well suited to their environment and life to evolve gradually to more complex forms. Growth and development. All organisms must grow and develop to reach the size and level of complexity required to complete their life cycle. Growth is a relatively permanent increase in size of an organism. It is brought about by taking in substances from the environment and incorporating them into the internal structure of the organism. Growth may be measured by increases in linear dimensions, but is best measured in terms of dry weight, as this eliminates temporary changes due to intake of water, which are not regarded as growth. Development involves a change in the shape and form of an organism as it matures. It is usually accompanied by an increase in complexity. Feeding. Living things are continually transforming one form of energy into another to stay alive. Although energy is not destroyed during these transformations, heat is always formed. Heat is a form of energy which cannot be used to drive biological processes, so it is sometimes regarded as wasted energy. Living things have to renew their energy stores periodically from their environment to continue transforming energy and to replace the wasted energy. They also have to obtain nutrients, chemicals that make up their bodies or help them carry out their biological processes. Living things acquire energy and nutrients by feeding, either by eating other organisms or by making their own food out of simple inorganic chemicals using energy from sunlight or from chemical reactions. Respiration. Living things need energy to stay alive and to do work. Although food contains energy, this is not in a directly usable form. It has to be broken down. The energy released during the breakdown is used to make ATP in a process called respiration. ATP is an energy-rich molecule and is the only fuel that can be used directly to drive metabolic reactions in living organisms. Excretion. The energy transformations that take place in an organism involve chemical reactions. Chemical reactions that occur in organisms are called metabolic reactions. Waste products are formed in these reactions, some of which are poisonous, so they must be disposed of in some way. The disposal of metabolic waste products is called excretion. Responsiveness. All living things are sensitive to certain changes in their environments and respond in ways that tend to improve their chances of survival. The degree of responsiveness depends on an organism's complexity. A bacterium may be limited to simple responses, such as moving towards favorable stimuli or away from harmful ones. People can make highly sophisticated responses to a wide variety of stimuli, which they may perceive either directly or with the aid of technological devices. Movement. Responses usually involve some form of movement. Movement of whole organisms from one place to another is called locomotion. Plants and other organisms that are fixed in one place do not display locomotion, but they can move parts of their bodies. Movements of living things differ from those of non-living things by being active, energy-requiring processes arising from within cells. Homeostasis. All living things are to some extent able to control their internal conditions so that their cells have a constant chemical and physical environment in which they can function effectively. The regulation and maintenance of a relatively constant set of conditions within an organism is called homeostasis. Homeostasis is a feature of all living systems, from a single cell to a whole biosphere. Evolution. Living things are able to change into new forms of life. This evolution usually takes place gradually over successive generations in response to changes in the environment. That's the end of our video session. Next time we're going to continue speaking about characteristics and classification of living organisms. Thank you for your attention.